This is a test, audio test. Can you guys hear me? I'm not sure if I can text myself. Um, can you guys write in the chat if you can hear me? Good. Okay, hi all. Welcome to the live show. Long time ago I did this. And time flies by as life goes on. So very happy to answer your questions and discuss markets and family and whatever you like. Monero XMR. Hi Mark, long time no see. Hope you and your family are happy and in good health. I'm curious to know your crypto overall market analysis. Yeah, so crypto, I looked at the different indicators where we are in the cycle, and to me it looks like we're unlikely to be at the top. Not just the Trololo chart that I've been sharing on Twitter, where yeah, there it's clear that you're at fair valuation for the overall crypto market. And some coins, the biggest ones, BTC and Ethereum, are already an overvaluation, but only a little. But most coins are below that, are undervalued still. But we had a good run, so a temporary correction is also probable. Huh? So in the short term, I think likely to continue to go down because it started correct yesterday. But I mean, it's been going up for months, huh? Very strongly. Actually, plus 90% for BTC with not a single or decent correction or very short-lived in just 3 months or so. And of course, stock markets have done very well also. Basically, there was some doubt in October last year, and then since then it was one way up. So a short-term correction is probable, but at the same time, this bull run is not likely to be finished, I believe. And that's, of course, also the case for the stock market. And why is that? Well, I mainly follow Tom Lee, his work there, which is the analyst from Fundstrat. I think that, of course, black swan events can always destroy the party, but the way the bubble has happened is that the strongest one have gone up first, and it will trickle down, and I think it also applies to the crypto market. But yeah, if you just look at the crypto markets, there are lots of indicators you can look at, such as the market value versus the realized value, MVRV indicator. You have also the NVT signal, network transactions compared to the value of the network, yeah, these show that it does not look toppy. Huh? All of them look like we're like halfway, and that's applying to Bitcoin BTC, because these network indicators usually are just Bitcoin BTC. But yeah, that does give me confidence that as long as global stock markets are okay, then crypto will likely continue to go up. But a correction where for a couple of months Bitcoin BTC corrects and only some alts make gains, I think that's probable here. Huh? And we go sideways basically for the overall market, a bit down for Bitcoin BTC, but smaller coins can in the meantime catch up and even gain versus BTC. That's my most probable scenario, but at the same time I have changed my investment strategy from the past, as I also shared on Twitter today. Like, I continue to trim down my crypto exposure. I did it 2 weeks ago from 66% to 62%, and then past few days also again, as crypto went up more the past few weeks, again scale it down from 66 to 64 and to 62% likely. That's what I'm doing. In contrast to previous crypto market bubbles where I would not sell as long as we're not in serious overvaluation. But that strategy really failed me last time, where we did hit very shortly serious overvaluation, but I was a bit too greedy there, and a bit too distracted with other problems in my life to sell anything there, and it was very short-lived because after that we went down, down, and down, and then I made a very big mistake of not really still thinking that we're still in a bull market, and only realizing half a year later that I was wrong, and in the meantime lost a lot of money because I didn't sell anything at the top. So I really need to avoid such mistakes for the future. And how can you avoid that? There are different philosophies on how to invest. Famous Charlie Munger was of the opinion that you should never sell the quality assets in your portfolio, even when they go into serious overvaluation. As Warren Buffett has often done, he has held on to stocks like, for example, Apple recently, that went into, well, very high valuation, but he didn't sell any of it. So and if you're a long-term buy and holder, that strategy can work out if you're able to also go through the pain of the bear markets and really believe in the fundamentals, then that strategy can work. But I have not such intentions, and I do want to try to sell as the asset goes into before it goes into serious overvaluation. But that, I think, has become too risky, and therefore my definition has changed and lowered. Instead of having to reach serious overvaluation, for me it only has to reach fair valuation for me to start start selling off. But of course it depends also on your exposure. My exposure is 65%. It's a very large exposure. Like how can I justify that I didn't sell anything when I had something that was seriously undervalued? A year or 2 years later it's like fairly valued, and at the same time my other investments failed, because that's been the case. I invest in growth stocks the past 1-2 years, invest in commodities, but none have performed, only a little, but like the gains really come from my crypto, and I was only at 45% exposure at the bottom, but now I'm at 65 or 70. Why is that? Because my crypto outperformed my other investments. So I think it is a wise move to start trimming that down a bit into other investments. That's my approach here, but it's a probability calculation. Like, I agree, it is most likely it will go considerably higher, but how probable is that? In previous bull markets I would have said like very likely, but now I have that a little bit less, because while crypto market cap is a lot higher these days than it used to be, so there is also like I don't think utility really has catched up. Most of value, or 99% of value, is speculative. It's not based on real usage, actual usage. But also I became a more conservative investor. Like, I don't want to risk so much anymore into one investment, because I'm older have more babies, and more ladies to take care of. Hi Martin Kuit. Great to see you back, Mark. Always enjoyed listening to your streams in the past. Thanks so much, man. Also, really happy that I can do these things again. Life is fragile, and everything can be lost. So I feel fortunate that I'm still able to do these things that I love doing in life. I'm all in. I'm all in. Hi. Hey Mark, I am 90% in RDNDR and 10% in cash. My entry was 4.6 US dollars and my target is 25 US dollars. What are your thoughts? Well, a very high exposure to cryptocurrency you can do at young age, when you can easily replace that capital when you lose. Then you can bet big, because if you lose it all, you can easily make money again and bet big again. So it really depends on your age and how quickly you can replace this capital. If it only takes you, let's say, 1 year of working to replace this capital, if you lose it, then you can risk it all. But if it would take you 10 years to replace this capital, then I would not bet so much on one investment. That is, if you invested it like that. Of course, if you invested only 10% and it grew to 90%, that's another story. Then it's justified to have a high exposure. That's because you earned it. And because it depends on where that investment is, and is it fairly valued already or not, and how likely is to continue to go up. But yeah, so that's my opinion on that. I don't know the coin itself. He also says, I see market cycle lasts 3 years, bull market from 2017 to 2021, then we had a bear market from 2022 to 2024. I don't think that's accurate. We only had 1 year bear market 2022, and now I see a bull market from 2024 to 2027. The bull market starts at the bottom, which was in start of 2023, end of 2022. So we're already 1 year in, and it's true that the typical market cycle takes longer, but I think more and more the problem has become that it's really depending on what the overall stock market does, what crypto does, I think, and therefore I wouldn't count too much on these cycles. I think following up on the macro has become more important than studying these crypto market cycles. I mean, it's a probability calculation, and I think just the weight of the global stock markets, you need to take that much more into account when you do this probability calculation. But I agree, when you look at just the crypto cycles, that it's likely to continue to go up. Cryptech Daf. Hi Mark, glad you're back. Same, nice to see you back, man. Can you give us your outlook on the crypto market and what you think when we peak? What you think when you think when we peak? I think that it may go faster than we expect. At this rate, it could go just faster. Markets always learn and become smarter and are just a little quicker next time around, so that only the smart ones enjoy the full benefit and the slow ones not. So that's possible. On the other hand, we had such a strong run, everybody expecting it to go higher quickly now, so the other scenario is also possible, that actually just like actually in previous cycles, you saw a big bump up out of the lows, but then it went down from that big build up, and it stayed quite a long time lower. So that's possible also. Sheila Norton. Hello from Zurich. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Mark. Do you have a Facebook account? Actually, yes, I have had a Facebook account before, but I didn't use it for a couple of years. Actually, during the crisis in Kenya, that account just got shut. I got locked out. I don't know why. Maybe they tried to hack my account or something, and I didn't bother looking at it. But it's just last month or so I regained my access to my account, and so now yes, I can see what's happening there. But there are lots of imposters and scammers using my name in Kenya, and on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on WhatsApp. You have lots of Marc De Mesels selling Bitcoin, selling football betting games, doing all kind of things to collect cryptos. Huh? But I don't get any proceeds of that. That's the Kenyan scammers and Nigerian scammers in full action, in posting, impersonating celebrities, and fooling people, and giving them their money. Hi Isabel, nice to see you. Hello Mark, so great to see you again in a live stream. Hope you and your family are doing well. Yes, we are doing well. I'm expecting my 6th baby the next few weeks. Felista is getting her 2nd baby, very happy with that. And half a year ago Tabby had her 3rd baby. Things are going very well. That's also why I'm not so active anymore. I get my hands full with the ladies and the babies, but I feel very fortunate that I can have all this. Brian Niamboki. Hi Mark, and he's speaking Swahili to me. I don't speak Swahili. Hi Paul. Gold going up a lot. Good call. I did not call for gold to go up, but I did do some research into gold, and actually, to my surprise, global mining production has not gone up really that much. It has actually gone sideways, and not since 2020, which was normal that it went down due to COVID shutdowns. But actually, it was already the year before, in 2019, that the global mining production went down. And people that have been following my work know that I take a very big interest in this indicator, because I really care about whether we're in a stock market cycle, bull market, or in a commodity bull market, because it's only one of them. That's the big question. And in order to know that, you need to look at commodities, like, are they at the end of their bear market or not? And in order to know that, you need to look at the production, mining production, because typically at the end of a commodity bear market, what you see is that price becomes so cheap that the producers stop producing the commodity, and that the production stops to go up and starts to go sideways or down, which means that it becomes inevitable that the price will go up, because the world continues to grow. Even though birth rates are very disappointing in the West, overall the human population still grows considerably, and the amount of commodities consumed per person also goes up a lot, especially thanks to developing countries in Africa, in Latin America, and therefore, since the supply continues to go up, if the demand continues to go up, so if the supply goes sideways or down, that means that sooner or later there will be a shortage and prices will go up again. So, and with gold, that's been the case since 2019, and that's now 5 years. What you also see is that typically, if you look at my posts around that I made today, there's this one chart, if you click through to the sheet, where you can see global gold mining production, Um, and also you can see the price of gold. And you can see that every time that gold production stops rising and starts collapsing, that the bull market has started and the price of gold goes up. And that happened actually in 2019 again. Actually, that indeed also gold found a bottom and then start to go up. At the same time, production of gold went start to go down. So we might actually do have a commodity cycle on our hands that started a couple of years ago. And in that case, stocks will actually go sideways for the next 10 years. But we're already 5 years in. But that means that like stocks actually have a downwards potential to where we were in 2018, 2019. And that's where we will be again with stocks in 5 years from here. And so that means that stocks will become actually a very frustrating investment. If I look at the actually indicators of how high stocks are valued, it's also not looking good, these indicators. If you look at the Buffett indicator, where you compare the market value of the stocks in the S&P 500 versus the GDP of the United States, then you see that we're almost back at all-time highs that we reached in 2021. Of course, over time, this has always made new highs. So if we're in a stock bull market, then this can go up again and make a new all-time high. But it's not like great to see. You also have the S&P earnings, and they, well, okay, they are not expensive like they were in 2021, but they have been trending up again, and at this rate, it won't be long before we are again at an all-time. Is it an all-time high? No, because 1999 also had a high, but it's not a cheap valuation. So okay, it's not conclusive, and for me the probabilities, I would still favor stocks actually, despite this, but I am now starting to prepare to also take commodity exposure, and actually made a big commodity investment in uranium, 10% exposure a year ago. That did go well, but then I flipped that for a fund, and that's the fund from H. Cuppy, and he is also invested in uranium. That's why I flipped that to him, but also he has invested in other commodity sectors such as oil service companies, oil refinery service companies, oil drilling service companies, and some other assets such as land that are not correlated to the stock market. And I do like that I start to hedge my bets in that direction. I also have no gold or silver investments, but I am starting to consider to do that again, just as a hedge. Gold is indeed starting to break out from its previous all-time high that was reached in 2011, and so if indeed we start the commodity cycle, then this can go a lot higher. So those are the things that I'm looking at. Hi Paul, thanks for bringing up gold. Interestingly enough, Paul says that a chart I have seen, only central banks are buying gold. Public demand is not there. Looking at gold miners, nobody is buying. There is no frenzy, and also I can add to that ETFs actually see a big outflow. Gold ETFs, they are net sellers, and so it is someone else who's buying. So yeah, that's indeed interesting to see. That's typically the start also of a bull market, which is the same as the end of a bear market. It is very low interest, but price does start to move higher. So you can see that my opinion on gold has really changed compared to only a year, 2 years ago, where actually was shorting gold. I was really convinced we're in a long-term stock bull market still, and commodities going up is not justified. That was in 2021 when everything was going up. Yeah, but no, I've come back from that. Alberto Mo, do you have thoughts on the Chinese tech stocks? I have a bit, and they are in deep shit. Have been downtrending since the Corona bubble popped 3 years ago. Actually, yeah, I'm very interested in Chinese stocks. I'm looking at them. It's very noteworthy that the stock index, the Hang Seng, is at the same valuation or about than 30 years ago. I think that's really, yeah, these are the kind of things that are very, very interesting, because in those 30 years, China has grown a lot, and these stocks also, like the earnings that all this index has is a lot higher now than 30 years ago. And the importance of China in the world has increased a lot as a trading partner. Most countries in the world have seen China become their biggest trading partner. So that's really a shift that also Ray Dalio talks a lot about, that this is really a historical shift in the balance of power between empires that rule the world. And this may really, we may in 10, 20 years see that actually today China was a steal, and that actually the balance of power shifts a lot towards China and its allies in the next 10, 20 years, and actually that these valuations of these companies is up a lot versus the valuations in the West. So I think that it's certainly worth looking at, and I think there is opportunity. Of course, there's a lot, like always, negative arguments also, and they are difficult. The autocratic political structure of China is very difficult for Western people to invest in, and human rights violations, the lack of just freedom for even billionaires in China who get kidnapped, and journalists who disappear just for their opinion, or these are like things that are very hard to invest in. But I've seen the same in Africa. Like people are really not aware how low, like moral standards are actually a lot lower, and atrocities do happen there a lot more on all levels, and corruption. I've been a victim of myself. It's quite shocking how far they go there, and then you wonder, can they build something of value with such low moral standards? But I do think that these things change over time. Wealth is correlated to moral standards, and moral standards are correlated to wealth. These are feedback loop systems, and if you raise one, the other one goes up. If you lower one, the other one goes down too. But I think that indeed, like the West really, like we are not raising our moral standards, I would say. Like there are indicators that we are actually do not such a good job as we did before, and or have peaked or trending down, whereas other regions, even though they are still seriously behind on some levels, are actually catching up. And I think there's also something to be said about democracy versus autocratic rule, or versus a dictatorship. Which is the best. I also was raised believing that democracy is the best, but if you see that if you let the masses rule, and if you let the masses vote and rule, like there's lots of short-term thinking. If rulers are only in power for 4 years, so they don't take decisions for the long term, whereas kings and dictators actually, like, it's in their benefit to make decisions for the long term, because they plan to remain in power for the rest of their life, and give it to their children. So they take better care of their empire or over their estate. Um, you see that so clearly in Dubai. It's unbelievable. And in Singapore, how far they have come. And it's not thanks to democracy. It's thanks to really a very good autocratic leadership. Same in China. Of course, before that there was a disaster, and that same autocratic leadership caused the country China to remain in great poverty and famine for long. But it can also happen the other way around. So, which in Dubai is very noticeable in Singapore and China, how they have built something that is in many respects better than in the West. So, yeah, I think it's very important to keep an eye on these things, and to invest where there is opportunity. I'm very interested, for example, in emerging and developed markets where they have been really lowering corruption and crime. I like that very much. And in Latin America, you start seeing that. You have this country, El Salvador, there, where they really got rid of the gang problem and put them all in jail. And okay, they overshoot. Probably they put too many in jail, but they really brought down the crime to lower levels than the most developed countries. And whereas in developed countries it's the other way around. In the United States, you see that crime goes up instead of down. So, like, it's safer these days to live in El Salvador, which was the most dangerous country in the world not only 20 years ago, than it is in many places in the United States. That's quite unbelievable. And so I do think that wealth will follow. Like, if you're able to bring down crime so much, then likely this will have a positive effect on so many other things. And indeed, the valuations of the stock market in those countries are likely to go up if they continue to run the country so well. Also, Argentina is very noticeable, what they do there. Really, like, getting rid of the socialist system that infects Europe so badly. And they are Europe, and I talk about Western Europe, because in Eastern Europe there are a lot less socialism, but in Western Europe it's a real problem, and in Canada also. And but people are not ready to get rid of it, and they make it bigger and bigger, the socialist system. And so, but you see that trend reversing in the countries that suffered the most under it first. And Argentina seems to really make a big change there. So I think these are very interesting developments that might be also good investment opportunities. But of course, you have to get to it. So if anybody has any tips there for me, let me know, because I'm interested to invest in these things. But I've not done so. I've not invested in China. I've not invested in Africa. I've not invested in Latin America yet. But I am interested. Nobody you know. How is good soil and Praetorian performing for you? Thank you for asking that question. Indeed, I'm investing in 2 hedge funds. Good soil from Emmett Peppers, who's specialized in Tesla and has been very successful with Tesla call options. And both of these funds have tremendous track record. So they are 50% per year on average since inception, and they are existing for 5 years or so. However, since I invested, good soil was a disaster, and I really lost 80% of my capital. But that's of course my own fault, because my timing was terrible. I invested at the peak of the market in good soil, which was in January 2022. before the market crash. I invested in that, and of course the Tesla went down a lot, so Tesla calls got destroyed. I invested some more in 2023. That was the right timing, but actually I didn't make money on that because even though Tesla is up, Tesla calls are not, I believe, and I therefore, of course, you have to. The problem is with calls is, yeah, you have to have your timing right, and his timing was not right. He had to flip calls expiring in 2024 to later expiries 2025, and you make losses on that. So that has not gone well for me, and I think, yeah, I really made a timing mistake there. Of course, you know what you're gonna get there. You're long, leveraged long via calls options on Tesla, and he has sticked to that. He has some smaller investments also, and he has counter traded a little bit, reducing the losses a bit, but I think that I do remain invested. It's like 5 or 10% of my portfolio, and I do like very much to outsource my investment problem to other people. And Tesla has gone sideways now for 3.5 years. The pattern with Tesla is it goes 5 years sideways and 1 to 2 years up. So we could be there again. Now or in 1 year or in 2 years that Tesla goes up considerably. I do not agree with all the bearish sentiment around Tesla. I think it's very clear that, okay, revenues have gone sideways, but the amount of cars continues to grow at a great pace, and they do sell products. Every car that's on the road can buy FSD in 5 years' time, and that will be the profit maker. FSD is very impressive how far they've come. It's really magic. The kind of technology that you say, wow, such as the mobile phone or the internet or electrical cars. Like certain innovations really, or laptops, or computers, or certain innovations that really wow and change your life. And I think FSD, full self-driving, will be one of them. Like that you say, wow, like it drives by itself. That's really very, very productive and very impressive to see. So I think it won't be that long before we're there now. And every car Tesla that's on the road will probably spend some money on that over time, not next year, but over the next 5 years. And of course, everything depends on what the founder does. But I think Elon Musk is he's just legendary. Yeah, I'm still a big fan overall. So then you have Praetorian Capital, and there it's new. I only started investing in a couple months back, so for now that's just going sideways. But this kind of fund you cannot expect. I think the track performance is really good, but it's more of a hedge in the case that stocks and crypto are finished, then this fund can perform. But good soil will perform then, but this one can. FM Alexander, hi, how are you? Thoughts on Xen? This is Jack from Google. Xen is a coin that split off, I think, from Bitcoin Cash, eCash, no? No, I have not followed up that project. I've also not been involved anymore in Bitcoin Cash. I took a big step back and I lowered my exposure a lot. Yeah, so I'm not so invested anymore in this sector of the crypto market. I'm all in since hi Smooth Operator. Did you buy back BCH? No, I have a small position and I'm content with that. Bill Smith says, And nice to see you, smooth operator. Long time no see. Bill Smith says, hey Mark, let me go get my sandwich that I ordered. One moment. We need more updates from you on the current state of the markets. Yes, that's true. I'm sorry for my lack of um, attention. Is that the one? Okay. Thank you all. How long, Bill Smith says, how long you think the bull market is going to last this cycle? Or are we near the end? I discussed this at the start of the live show, so you can just check that after it's finished. Amolin says from 2021 to 2024, the stock market did well versus gold and crypto. From 2021 to 2024, stock market did well versus gold and crypto, even though we had a risk-off environment. Now we are in a risk-on environment. I expect gold and crypto to outperform the stock market from 24 to 27. No, I don't think that you can say that in a risk-on environment. Gold and crypto does well, and in a risk-off environment, stocks do well. Like, that makes no sense to me. I think that's a wrong analysis. Huh? I think that risk-on you can have in the stock market as well as in the commodity markets. That things are going up and people want to take more and more risk and invest more and more and get greedy. You can have that both in stocks as well as in commodities such as gold, as well as in crypto. Alexei, hi Mark, do you use the Trello chart now? The highs on the chart go down. It may mean that current or next cycle will be lost for Bitcoin. What do you think about it? Yes, that's true. Overvaluation is less and less over time, but undervaluation not so much, except for Ethereum. Ethereum did not go in undervaluation the past bear market, but Bitcoin, like before, did go, and crypto overall did go in a serious undervaluation for some time. But it's notable that Ethereum did not. That's very unique, I have to say, and is very bullish for Ethereum, because if during a bear market you're holding strong, that's very promising for the bull market that's to come. But we've not really seen that yet. Like, Bitcoin has outperformed Ethereum, and now you see also many smaller coins such as Solana, a big competitor to Ethereum, outperform Ethereum. So I've not yet really seen the outperformance of Ethereum towards the others, I have to say. Yes, of course, it's normal that but to answer your question, I want to say something about Bitcoin BTC. I still am of that opinion that I've shared for many years, that Bitcoin BTC is really very unlikely to keep the leading position in the cryptocurrency market, because it's not built out, it's not managed well, and nothing is easily achieved in life. You cannot expect a currency to, just like a company, or to be successful if it's not being built out. If it's just standing still, that's not going to happen. So and that's clearly the case. So I think it's not wise to invest in Bitcoin. If you're going to invest in crypto, you should not be investing in Bitcoin, in my opinion. Okay, you could say at the start of a bull market it's the safer bet, yes, but we already passed that, and I actually do not agree with that, because nothing is sure in life, and and as an investor, you need to invest your money in projects that are managed well. Why would you invest in projects that are not managed well? That makes no sense. Huh? If you count that others will do the same, then and therefore you'll make gains, that's too risky of an approach. Just like Warren Buffett, value investors really do have a very strong case when they say you need to invest with a margin of safety. Huh? And what's your safety? Your safety is when you invest in companies is the the growth that it has or the earnings that it makes. That's the value will the price of the asset will be based on that in the long run. In the short term, the price can be severely above its value or below its value, but in the long term it will trend towards its value, and the value is based on the earnings or the growth that it's achieving. And the growth is not how much does the value of the company goes up, the price goes up. No, that's not growth. The growth is when it comes to companies is how many more customers do they have? How many more money does each customer want to spend on them? And that's growth. And that's not there for Bitcoin. There is no growth in amount of transactions. There is maybe growth in amount of addresses, but if that's only for people that taking a position in the hope that it will go up in value, yeah, that's also not really usage. Like you do invest in currencies, and therefore they need to really like show that they are successful as currencies. And currencies are things that people use to pay each other or to do things with, to buy stuff or to get stuff. That's what currencies in the long run do, and only those that you're able to do something with, you will value, and the ones that you're not able to do something with, you won't value. So that's really lacking in Bitcoin BTC, and you need to really that's too risky of an investment. And also the valuation is all now already in the trillions, a trillion. Like that's absurd, for something that's only has no development for years, since 2017, 2016 the development stopped. Like they don't add anything to the network or value. So, and it has lost many use cases since. So no, that's really like there I really differ in opinion from many others. Like I don't think that's a wise investment. Hi, so Leah Kagendo says, too bad I am a victim of those scammers and I lost 6,600 euros. I'm sorry, Leah, for your loss. The kind of scams going around in the crypto world also, some of them are very very advanced. You have to be very careful. Landveer, hi, nice to see you, man. Hi Mark, this is Landveer. I recommend tankers to you. Too bad you sold them early. Oh, you recommended them at the time. That's great. Yeah, I remember Landveer. They went on a massive run. Did you see Scorpio and other tankers recently? I stopped following tankers, but indeed I really made a mistake there selling those off early. Yeah, I shouldn't have. They could have saved my portfolio in 2022 when my other investments went down. But instead of having some commodity investments, instead what I did was I sold them and I went short on commodities, thinking that I was hedging my portfolio, and I was dead wrong. I was long stocks and I was short commodities. And what happened in 2022 is that stocks went down and commodities went up. And so I lost on both trades. And then I even had leverage. I had taken out a loan against my crypto to invest in those shorts in gold. And so I had margin calls on top. So that's why I lost 95% of my portfolio. That was really the worst move as an investor that I've done. Other than when I started investing at 18, I went all in on a company in Belgium called Lernout and Houseby. That was the big hype on the news. And I also invested all my money in it. And only 1 year later, it turned out that they were scammers. And everybody lost all their money, me included. That was a bigger mistake. Because I lost 100%. Here I lost only 95%. But this is my second biggest mistake as an investor. So, yeah, should have kept those tankers. For sure. Thanks, Lanfear. And congrats on doing that. Wow. Isabel says, congratulations on your new babies, Mark. Thank you, Isabel. Lanfear says, great to see you again, by the way. It is good to see your personal life improving again. I wish no one what you went through. Thanks so much, Lanfear. Yeah, they are very, being falsely accused of being a money launderer, and it's really very scary at first, huh? And very damaging, because I mean, you lose not only your money. In Kenya there they froze the accounts of my family that received my gifts. That's my girlfriend's, and there's also a cousin there that I sent him also 400,000 euro to participate in a visa program in Europe. So they froze his account. They froze a bunch of accounts also from my girlfriend Felista. I sent her $900,000 in order to invest in real estate on her name and build something for our child. They also froze that account and accused us of money laundering, and that they say it's proceeds of crime. So we had a case there, and we had some other cases also against my other girlfriend Tabby, also received that amount, and her sister also for the visa program in Europe. And those cases were dropped, which I have still on my Twitter at the top, due to a lack of evidence. But then the other cases they didn't drop, and then we even lost them in court. After submitting all the evidence of my source of funds, source of wealth, can you see exactly where the money was coming from? It was from selling stocks on my brokerage account. Even the whole trace before that, I submitted to court via my lawyers, and they can see that at the start I inherited money, and I sold the building many years ago, and then I invested in Bitcoin, and I invested in Tesla, and I sold these shares, and that's how I sent that money to them. Like they have the black and white evidence, and the judge simply says that they are not in the right language, the pieces of evidence, and they don't prove this when it literally proves it. They don't prove that I made money there when it's a literal proof. And then she goes on to say that, and therefore the accused has not defended this case well, and the monies can be confiscated. So we lost this case, and now we're starting the appeal case. But yeah, it's a real problem as an investor. They are. It's already difficult as a crypto investor to have banks and brokerage accounts, but when you have accusations that you're a money launderer, you get kicked out everywhere. No banks, no brokerages, and when you try to open accounts, they refuse you because if it's on the interwebs, they're not going to do the research that is corruption in Africa. Where there is smoke, there is fire. They think, why should we take the risk? Huh? So it's a real problem for as an investor. There are even some some people don't even want to talk to me because these accusations are there. Huh? So it's very damaging. Corruption. Before I thought that corruption can be better than high taxes, but problem with corruption is that like the police and the politicians and the judicial are actually financially motivated to make false accusations. And if you don't pay, you're fucked. Huh? They destroy your life. Huh? Like it's pure and sheer extortion. Huh? They've tried a lot more other things there with me and my family. It went very far, actually. It went so far that members of my family have been kidnapped, have been threatened with guns. They tried to accuse me for other things also, not just money laundering, also terrorist financing, also child trafficking. Like different gangsters and dirty cops and dirty politicians have really tried to extort me and my family very badly there. So it was very traumatic. And yeah, I'm happy that I survived that crazy story. But now we still have to deal with the cases of appeal, and I'm still trying to solve that, because losing that will also be yeah, bad, huh? But it's very difficult to win such cases. Um, Bill Smith. Also, what do you suggest flipping Bitcoin to after the frenzy ends? Gold ETFs, stocks, bonds. Um, I think hedge funds like that are good, but they have high minimums. The ones that I have, but otherwise, yeah, it depends when that happens. They ask me again in half a year or so. But for now, look at my portfolio. These are the things that I think are good investments. 2 hedge funds I have, and um, I have a few. I think small cap stocks right now are not a bad investment. Value stocks, emerging markets, I think are a good investment. Like we discussed it in this chat in the beginning. Like there are lots of yeah, European stocks and Chinese stocks and stocks in Kenya also. Like it's been a disaster, huh? The past 10 years, and so these are probably, I, I but of course, in countries where you have like people are really building something of value, corruption is going down, then I think that can be good, and ethics are upheld. Like if you look in Western Europe, like they are waging war against Russia. They increased socialism during COVID. It was bad overall. Like no, but in Northern Europe and Eastern Europe, like they do use their brains a bit more, and these may be better investments. Um, um, Isabel, unfortunately, I was a bit brainwashed by the bears in 2022 and 2023. When everybody cries recession, it's likely not going to happen. Yes, Isabel, I also remember that you were bearish around the bottom. She says, have you read about the 18-year real estate cycle in the United States? It's actually been pretty precise since World War II. That could mean a lot more upside in the next 2 years. Yeah, no, I have not read about that. But yeah, I've been negative about real estate. And I did do some more research around it. I considered investing in London real estate a year ago. Um, but yeah, looking at the charts, like if you look at real estate in the United States versus stocks, actually, stocks are what was it again? I think stocks are again valued high versus, or is it low? I don't know what it was. I forgot about it. But yeah, I don't know. Interest rates are likely trending up over time now. I don't believe the Fed sets interest rates. I think the market sets interest rates, and therefore, how can interest rates remain low? Like like the one that issuing the bonds is just issuing way too much, has serious deficits, even during the good times. Like it seems that the only way to get out of this mess for the United States is to print more, and like I don't, and therefore inflation remains relatively high, and therefore but also like who wants to buy bonds of an empire that's managed poorly, huh? That's destroying countries around the world left and right, provoking uh, the whole half of the world into a war. Like people don't want to buy those bonds. It used to be the Chinese that bought the US bonds, but I think that that's been going down considerably, of course. Um, no, like I don't see. I don't think real estate is a great investment. It's also like you're buying the investment that has been the most successful for the previous generation. Huh? Interest rates went down for 40 years, but also like every butcher and bakery and doctor and lawyer has an investment in real estate. So I don't see much opportunity there, but I could be wrong, and I've been wrong for a long time um, about real estate actually. It has also during the COVID boom gone up a lot, and actually I would have expected real estate to have corrected now, and it didn't. So, but yeah, yeah, that's my impression, Isabel. But I'm not an expert in real estate, and I could be wrong about it. You could be right, Isabel, that it has a lot more upside. Fortune Joseph says hello. Hi, Apple Master. Kitra Investments says Simon. Hi, Mark. Nice to hear from you again. Say hi to the family. Thank you, Kitra. Yipay says, did you finally give up on Bitcoin Cash and go for BTC? I did give up on Bitcoin Cash for the most part, but I did not go for BTC. Instead, I went for Ethereum. Apple Master, I've been following you for years. Thanks to you, you made me want to get into crypto. Thanks so much, Apple Master. Great to hear. Hi, Nancy. Nyoroge. Hi, Cryptoscope. Hello, Mark. Nice to hear from you. Long time. Hope all is well. I miss these live chats. Nice to see you, man. Is it time to short NVDA? Nvidia asks Pilami. I will never short again in my life. So, but I do think Nvidia is overvalued and likely will not go up the next 5 to 10 years. Just like Cisco in 1999 or Microsoft in 1999. Like, yes, earnings have gone up a lot, but there's hype, lots of hype around artificial intelligence. Competition can catch up. Nvidia has competition, lots of competition, I believe. It's over 1 trillion. It was only 100 billion 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. No, I think that's not a. But to short, no, I would not do that anymore. I will never short again because, yeah, I learned it the hard way. That shorting, even if you do it with put options, which is a lot safer than just going short, naked short, something where you have unlimited losses, and by one mistake you can lose your whole portfolio. But even if you do it with safer instruments like puts, yeah, you can also lose a lot with options. So yeah, I wouldn't short. No, I don't think. I've explained in another video why I think shorting is not a good instrument to use, and it's. I think the right explanation is that it is the same as lending or borrowing money from other people or institutions to invest, and the loan is callable. Like if you can borrow money from friends, fool, and family, the three F's, and they can't force you to pay back, that's a good loan. But if it's from an institution like a brokerage where they can force you to liquidate your assets when things go south, then that's a bad loan. You should not take it, because then you lose everything. Like when you have to pay back a loan when the value of your assets has just gone down a lot. You have to sell your assets for pay back the loan. You have nothing left. That's a bad loan. And it's the same with shorting. You're also borrowing something from someone, and you're gonna have to pay it back when it goes south. And you get continuously margin called. And yeah, it's just an instrument you should not be using. If you look at shorting, if it's true that there are big shorting opportunities, then there are also opportunities somewhere else to go long. Even if it's just gold, or even if it's just cash, short-term treasuries, like there's always something where there is opportunity to go long. So there is no need to short also. Truth Told says, hi Mark, if I asked you to support my dream of becoming a profitable forex trader through buying me a course, would you please? No, I would not do that, Truth Told. Forex trading is a scam. Like you should not do forex trading. Nobody makes money with forex trading. They're just courses they sell you to take your money. There's no money to be made in trading currencies versus each other. Okay, maybe there's like a very advanced trader in the world that makes money with that, but he has been doing this for 10-20 years, made many mistakes, and went through the school of hard knocks, and maybe he can make money with that, but you cannot make money that way as a starting investor. Warfield, which countries are best for now? Do you think to go into Web3 and crypto? I don't understand that question, Warfield. Should you buy Tesla or Nvidia? I am long Tesla, so I would say Tesla then. Paul says, I think that if Bitcoin is not able to make a significantly higher all-time high in this environment, where you have lots of tech stocks going up, and gold as well, making an all-time high, then it's actually a very weak sign for crypto in general, says Paul. Yes, but like stocks have made an all-time high, but only a little bit higher. Gold also only a little bit higher, and Bitcoin also only a little bit higher. So I think they are comparable in where they are. Blue Allen, hi Mark, do you think this was a real top and we start a new cycle now? No, I don't think that's likely. Paul, sad to see you burned your Bitcoin cash so hard, and that you lost in crypto. Yes, for every win there are a couple of losers, and I've made some good investments, but yeah, I've made some bad investments also, and Bitcoin Cash was not profitable for me. Janos, Pakani, yeah, we can criticize Europe a lot, but there's a reason a lot of people prefer to live in Europe rather than somewhere else. I agree with that, and that does stand. The same is true for the United States. Like people do want to leave Africa and leave Latin America and leave China, and they want to go to America or Europe, and it's not the other way around. People don't want to go to Africa or China to go live there, or to Latin America to go live there, with the exception of some crazy adventurers, but for the most part, no. So I agree with that, and that's very important. Like that's people voting with their lives and livelihoods, and that tells a lot of where it's best to live. Cryptoscope, Mark, what do you think is next for Bitcoin after reaching the all-time high? What about all this ETF frenzy going around? Well, indeed, most likely is that once Bitcoin breaches the all-time high, which it already did, that it will shoot through and go considerably higher. Maybe first after a sideways movement, but that's the most likely for. Usually, yeah, that's the most likely for every asset. Once it finally breaks the all-time high, which usually takes years, it then will set a high quite quickly, considerably higher, and that's the most likely to happen right now, as long as the global stock market remains intact. Rapolas Massatis. I need advice. I'm considering to invest in Nervgen. They will finish trial on humans this summer. 75% it will work on people that can walk again. Maybe later it will work on Alzheimer's. I think it has a 30%, 30x return. Is it worth the risk? Well, I think that the right advice here is to listen to what the great investor, what's his name again? It escapes me, but his advice was that you should invest in what you know, and if you're indeed into this kind of sector, if you have a job in the biotech sector, or you've been reading a lot about this, you really are interested in this, then this is the right sector for you to invest in, because you have an edge. You know more actually than the Wall Street analysts, because you're on the ground. Like Wall Street analysts are not on the ground and their knowledge is superficial, but your knowledge is expert. So yes, but if you just going on a stock tip or want the latest, investing in the latest hot thing, then no. And the name of the investor is Peter Lynch, who recommends that's the worst you can do. Going on a, following a hot sector or something that people are talking about, and you don't know much about the sector, but it's the latest thing, such as AI stocks today. That's the worst you can do. Like, you're gonna lose your money in that way. Don't do that. So that's the advice here. Monero XMR says, do you have any ideas why Louis Thomas deleted his YouTube channel? No, I don't. I'm also curious about that. Mark, he is asking, what's your opinion on black people and Muslims? It's a very broad question. Allow me to skip that one. John Morris. Hi Mark, nice to see you again. I'm just catching up. What do you think about the oil tanker shares? I don't know. I've not followed the oil tankers. I don't know if they are a good investment. DoorDash. Essential shorts for you. He says DoorDash delivery for Mark. We got canned pineapple steak with ground beef. What is all this, eh? I don't use DoorDash. I have ladies who cook for me. I'm a privileged man. Blue Alien. Do you think this rally was like the one in 2019 in the middle of the rally? Or are we going to proceed from here to the cycle top? That's a good question, Blue Alien. I don't know. It could be either, I think. It could be a quick rally to a new all-time high, considerably higher than the previous one, doubling from here. We're at 3 trillion almost, and the total market cap I think can go to 6 to 9 trillion, maybe 10 peaking out, but how fast will that be? That should take half a year at least. That's possible, but it's also possible we get serious correction. It takes another 2 years, 3 years before we get there. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But most probable is that we continue to go up, I think, and not that we, I mean, of course we can get a correction for a couple of months, But overall crypto market cap should not go down that much. Maybe it goes to 2 trillion, but it should not go back to 1 trillion at bottom, no. If we're in a bull market, it goes back to 2 trillion maybe, and maybe for 3 months, and then 3 months after it goes back to 2.5 trillion, and then we continue the bull market. That's if it's a correction, a bull market. That's also a possibility. That's the most likely scenario, I think. But there's a small chance it continues to go up without a decent sideways movement, and without a correction. There's also a small chance actually we go back into a bear market if global stock markets do the same. Janos Pakani says, people touch biotech normally once in their lifetime, lose money and never go back. That's true. Actually, I went there also with the ARK funds. I did invest shortly in the biotech ARK fund, the genomics fund. But yeah, I did sell it. Where are you from? I am originally from Belgium, and now I live in Switzerland. Isabel, very good that you're placing more importance on risk management and not using leverage anymore. Thank you for sharing your insights and hard-earned lessons with us. Thank you, Isabel. It's really nice to see you. And yeah, I hope you're doing well also with your investments. I will take a look on oh, I have to plug out my Tesla, who has been charging, and otherwise I have to pay. So I need to do that. I would like to also ask the questions, check the questions on Twitter, because maybe there are some questions there also, or maybe someone could do it for me, and check if there are any questions there. Under I posted that the show will start, and then you can also post that here, and then I can also do those questions. But otherwise, I think I can end the call. It's been 1 hour and so I think that's probably the best, that people can rewatch this. It's not too long. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So thank you all for joining. It was really nice to get all your questions. I really appreciate it. And I wish you all good luck in the markets. Make wise decisions and remain positive. Bye. Have a good remaining Sunday.